Hey everybody, welcome to the video today. We're going to be doing a lot of discussing altcoins. I don't do this very often, but I think it's time. It's time to have this discussion. I've got a couple things that I want to focus on. I want to focus on some of the major alts. Jay was talking about SXP on the Discord server. I want to take a look at Link, Cardano, Tezos, Ripple, and Lumens. And if there's any others that you want me to take a look at, go ahead and throw it in the chat. If you're watching live, I'll be more than happy to look at those. We talk about this. We talk about stocks on our Discord server. If you want access to our Discord server, just throw a comment in the YouTube chat. I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. And of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You are responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. And this is just my opinion, just my opinion on the market. Okay, so what I want to start with, I want to start looking at dominance. All right, so we've been taking a look at dominance for a while. So let me flip over to the chart here real quick. All right, so taking a look at dominance, we've been tracking this for quite some time. We were looking at a 3-4 count here, working in for wave 5, and this dominance. We're taking a look at the daily here, just kind of going back, and our upside target here was about 85%. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that high. I think we probably will. Now, I say this whenever I talk about dominance, whenever I talk about alts, I always say this. And what that is as Bitcoin dominance rises, you are going to have a decreasing amount of Bitcoin value if you're holding alts. Now, your USD value may increase in alts, but as Bitcoin dominance is rising, and you can see it, I mean, it's kind of bouncing around right now. As Bitcoin dominance rises, generally speaking, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, you're not going to be gaining as much USD as you would if you are in Bitcoin. Now, there will be a point in time where that changes, right? And I think that we are getting close to finishing this first move here, right? So when we get this, right, so we're looking at a daily here. Obviously, there was a big spike a couple days ago, but what we're going to get more than likely is a little bit something like this. So we have this 4, and then we're going to be getting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So anytime this goes down, this is where altcoins will rise in value. This goes down, altcoins rise in value. What I'm looking for is this guy right here. When we get up there, we see this bigger pullback to wave 2, maybe 63. This is going to be your alt season. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is going to be your alt season, and it's not very big, right? You have to admit this is not impressive at all right here. This is not impressive. What you're really wanting, right? So this is like your mini alt season. What you really want, what we all want, is this right here. From up here, this is the alt season that we really want. And I have to think it's probably not going to happen until sometime next year. But we're going to be getting little jumps along the way, and you should try and capitalize off of those. Get little jumps along the way. So what I want to take a look at, and I want to focus on something here, and this is the fact that regardless of the hype, regardless of retail investors, fact of the matter is, if there's a token out there with 1 million coins, right? Let's just say, for example, RLC. Let's say RLC had 1 million coins. Those coins are out there in circulation. Sure, there are new being mined for most of these assets. Those are already out in circulation. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so let's take a look at SXP first. Take a look at SXP BTC, because this is what people are talking about. This looks awful. All right, so let's just take a look at this on a daily here for just a moment. So let's get this, make this look great. Okay, so what can we see here? Well, we can see from right here, take a look at this. This is a low. We have pretty low on the oscillator. Okay, we had a lower low, we had a higher low on the oscillator. We had a lower low, we had a higher low on the oscillator. So we're getting some bullish divergence here. Okay, you can't ignore that. Can't ignore that fact. But also, let's just think about this in terms of the way the market moves. There are 2 ways to get the price to go up. All right, well, one, you can have a whole lot of buyers, okay? You can have a whole lot of buyers that cause this price to go up. The other way a price can go up is you don't have a lot of sellers, okay? So I would say that SXP has been accumulating down here because, generally speaking, the trajectory here was pretty steep. All right, actually, I believe I can get, I don't do this very often either, but I believe I can get a measurement on this. Let me see if I can find a measurement tool. So trend angle right there. That's a 28% slope on the downward trajectory. All right, let's do this guy right here. What do we have? We had 23%, so slightly less. Okay, so this drop was pretty steep. We had lots of sellers and not a lot of buyers. This drop right here was not as steep, means we had probably less sellers, but still not a lot of buyers. All right, now what are we getting? Okay, so this is where things kind of come into play. What we've got right here, we had our trap. All right, we had our quote-unquote bottom right here. We had a good reaction off of this, and actually, let's just go ahead and measure this guy because I would say that the upside was pretty good. It was, it went almost 70%. That's not bad. Down here, we had a very similar reaction, and we are creating this similar bottom right here. Okay, so it looks very similar, right? You could say that this looked like accumulation right here. This is going to be resistance as we move up. Okay, that's going to be resistance as we move up. And just taking a look left, we've got this candle wick over here, but really the more important level is going to be this right here. This is going to be the one where we really have to pay attention to. Now, if we do pivot from here, let's just take a look and see what the risk to reward would look like. From right where we're at right now, is it worth it to try and buy this? So it looks like about 141% upside potential. Let's see what our risk is. Our risk is only about 5%. 5% risk in crypto terms, that's not bad at all. I think that this I think is worth it to me. Worth a 5% risk for potential 140, actually higher than that because our target is right up here, 152%. I think it's worth that risk. All right, and if Bitcoin is going to be going up in value, well, then your USD value is going to be increasing as well. If Bitcoin just stays the same, your USD value is going to be increasing as well. This looks okay. This is something that I would be interested in. Now, is it going to happen really fast? No. No, probably not. It probably won't happen fast like these guys did. But what you need, right? Okay, what you need, and this goes back to what I was mentioning before, you need all those people that are holding these coins to stop selling. Okay, you need them to stop selling because what that's going to allow is a markup in price. Because fact of the matter is, we're not going to get, at least anytime soon, we're not going to get the same retail FOMO as we did in 2017. It's not here yet. Okay, it is not here yet. You don't have your grandma coming up to you asking how they can buy some Cardano. We don't have that, and we're not going to have it for a while. Now, Bitcoin is going to be the one that is going to bring retail back to the space to get people interested in these altcoin assets, but we're not there just quite yet. So what we need the sellers to stop so that the markup can happen. Okay, because if you don't have retail buying up these coins and marking up themselves, you need the market makers to do that. The market makers can increase the value to entice more people to buy at a higher price, which is where distribution happens. So if these sellers stop, the people that have these tokens are selling, and if we get them to stop, then the price can appreciate in value. And again, probably will look gradual, very similar to this, right? As far as the trajectory goes, we're probably looking for this to, work up, down, and then we're probably going to be moving a little bit like this. We're at the end of November, the beginning of December, okay? This is what we need to happen. It's going to be slow. It's probably not going to be quick. Same thing with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to fall in value, I think it happens slow. I don't think it happens quick. So we're not going to see that huge green candle. We are not going to see that. So you have to just trust your risk to reward. And a 5.4% for a potential 150%, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's a risk that I'd be willing to take. Let's take a look at some of these others and see what they look like. Link versus Bitcoin. Okay, now I have already taken a look at this guy, and we can go all the way back to the history of Chainlink here. Okay, so we looked at this. You know, you can count from here a 1, 2, and then you have this this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and a pullback, and then over here into wave 3. So you've got a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here into the 3, and then we are correcting. It's very possible that Chainlink comes back down here to the 382, which is about 54.5. Okay, so what could very well be happening here is that we could be getting a more complex correction. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C up here into the B, and then we go down here for the C. Now that means we could still be seeing this upside here. We still could be seeing upside. So we've got 1, 2. We should be seeing a 3, 4, 5 right up into there, and then we can finally see that last move to pull ourselves down. From here, okay, so remember, go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, right? We're talking about these little bounces, but ultimately when Bitcoin makes that move to the upside, altcoins are going to bleed. Okay, maybe your USD value kind of maintains, but altcoins are going to bleed. But this right here is where the alt season is really going to start. Okay, so this is what I kind of expect to happen for Chainlink. And of course, if you want to take this trade, let's see what your risk is now, right? So we posted some trades on the Discord a couple days ago, but upside potential, you know, taking a look up here, about 50%. You're still talking about maybe like an 11% risk though. That's quite a bit. It's still 5-to-1 ratio, but that's pretty hefty risk, 11%. That's pretty significant. All right, let's take a look at some others here. Cardano versus Bitcoin here on the daily. All right, are we seeing bullish divergence? I would venture to say that we are. I would say yes, we are starting to see some bullish divergence off the bottom back here. All right, so off the bottom, man, we really came down. That was a big roller coaster up and right back down. All right, so this is obviously our bottom right here at about, we'll call it 400. All the way up here to the top. You know, it's very possible this guy comes back down here to maybe 528. So it's still got some room to go down. This is, you know, very interesting that we're finding ourselves all the way back down here at 600 after we found ourselves up at almost 1600 just a few months ago in middle of July. So yeah, maybe this guy just completely retraces. Again, look at the slope. This is a slow bleed. We've got lots of sellers that are just, you know, they're not selling really fast because keep in mind, the people that hold millions of coins have the ability to just completely crash the market, but they don't want to do that because then they minimize their potential profits, right? The people that did the markup, obviously they were accumulating heavy back here, and this was, you know, this was the sign that, okay, we are going to be marking up the price. They marked up the price really quickly, and then it was a slow bleed down, and it has been a slow bleed ever since mid-July. Now, are we seeing less sellers now compared to what we saw before? Well, I would say that this was, you know, kind of a quick push down through here, and it does look like it's slowing. But again, you need sellers to stop selling. You need sellers to stop selling. Let's take a look at Tezos. Tezos did something very similar to Cardano. It went from down here at the bottom, went up, chopped up here for a while, distribution, and then fell. This looked very similar to Lumens, which we are going to look at here in just a little bit. But again, this guy fell down below the 786. It just doesn't look good. Actually, Tezos doesn't look good out of most of them. The only saving grace this guy has is that it's at its prior resistance level right now. It's the only saving grace. but it's breaking down through all of these important levels. Even if I get off of log scale and I go to linear scale, it looks, gosh, it looks even worse. It looks even worse. So more than likely, this guy is probably going to bounce, but the chart does not look good. The chart doesn't look good to me at the moment. Bullish divergence, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see some bullish divergence as I can see on just about any other chart, but it just doesn't look all that great. Let's keep on going. Let's take a look at Ripple. Ripple versus Bitcoin. So this little guy right here, man, I still remember this day. That was a pretty crazy day. But anyway, this is not indicative of heavy selling, right? Obviously, this was heavy selling. This was heavy selling, right? Selling, then a markup, and then a selling phase. And really, it's just been kind of in this range for a while. Let's look and see here. Price and date range. How long have we been in this range? This range we have been in for over a year, right? So yeah, this has actually gone down 59% in Bitcoin value over that last 443 days. But this is very interesting. Let's actually take a look at Ripple versus Bitcoin on Poloniex because I believe there is a lot more history there. Let's see where we are at compared to prior price action. So I would say that this area that we are at, 1400 to 1600, this is a really fantastic place for Ripple to actually bounce. I would say that because of the early days of Ripple back in 2014, we kind of are bouncing off of that. So I would say that there is good potential for Ripple to bounce again on the daily, and probably has a lot more upside potential. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this. What's our risk? Risk is about 6.39%. That is not bad. But what is our upside potential here? I mean, assuming that we are completed with the correction and we are going to finally start seeing some upside moves, take ourselves down to that pivot, I mean, you've got huge potential. Now, with anything, I'm not saying to go out and throw everything at Ripple. I'm not saying to go out and throw everything at Chainlink or Cardano or Lumens, which we still have to take a look at, or SXP. You need to take your account and you need to diversify among numerous assets. You need to keep track of what you bought them for. You need to keep track of where your risk is being managed, where you're going to do a stop loss. You have to monitor that. Because if you don't, then you're not trading, you're just kind of throwing money somewhere and hoping that it grows. You need to manage your money. And you need to keep track of where you buy. Like right now, this is a really great example. I'm talking about buying Ripple at 1659 satoshis. That's where we're at, 1659. Your stop loss is going to be right here where these bottoms were. 1, 2, 3 touches down here. Okay? That's going to be at about 1550. If we break 1550, well, you can be darn certain we're going to come down here to 1300. So why on earth would you buy and just let it go when you could stop loss here at 1550 and then try again at 1320? Because for it to drop from here and go all the way down here, that's 14% on top of the 6% you had already risked. Why would you just hold that? Okay? So get out and try again. Don't just sit here and just watch your money go away. Get out and try again. All right, last one I'm going to take a look at is Lumens, XLM BTC. And the reason why I'm not looking at the USD pairs is because we know Bitcoin is going up. So even though these Bitcoin pairs are dropping, we know that their USD value is more than likely staying the same or dropping in value. All right, so this looks very similar to Tezos, right? We had a markup and then it bounced around and then it fell. Okay, I think that that Stellar, for example, XLM BTC. Let's take a look at this on Bittrex. XLM BTC. We had that same zone. Obviously, we accumulated down here for a long time, and we're bouncing off of that zone. Very similar to Ripple, and it's very early days. We are bouncing off of that same zone. Now, are we going to find ourselves all the way back down here at 275? It's very possible. It is very possible. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's no way that we can get there. We're at 473 right now, so a drop to 275, that is almost 50% drop from where we currently are right now. But I think that it's very possible that we are going to see, based off of the bullish divergence, see a pop up in value. Now, for Ripple in particular, no, sorry, not Ripple, for Lumens in particular, you've got, I would say this level right here. This is our first level to watch. Next level to watch is going to be, I'm just looking left here, right around right here, 600 to 685. Is there a trade there? And let's see what it looks like. That's still possible for 40 to 45%. What's your risk? I mean, 3.37%. That is acceptable risk to me. That's the type of risk that I manage when I manage my stock positions, right? So 3.37%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So you could think about taking that trade, because I do think that we are seeing some signs of some bullish divergence on the daily, right? Which means you're not going to be in this trade for a couple hours. You're going to be in this trade for days, right? So just kind of expect that it might look something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then from there, probably bounce and then come back down. Okay. But this, assuming this is the bottom, this is where I'd be looking to buy back, right? Again, looking left over here, we're going to have a support and resistance flip right there, okay? And if we do make it up there, let's just say for a moment that this is right. Where is this going to take us? Between the 50 and the 618. Now this is all projecting stuff that hasn't happened yet, but a move up, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, take that trade, probably into 2021, and then we can see a more significant upside. But through all of this, sellers have to stop selling, because there is no retail here yet. Not in addition to what we've already had, right? Any retail that's there has just been decimated on alts. Now, there has been some really great gains for some altcoin assets, but some of these legacy assets, they're going to fly, right? Everybody thinks they're dead. They are going to fly. But sellers have to stop suppressing the price. They have to remove their sell orders, and that way people can start marking up the price, and then we can talk about selling. But for right now, maybe some accumulation can be occurring here, but sellers have to stop selling in order for that price to appreciate in value, because we don't have the retail FOMO crowd that we once had. I can tell you that right off the bat. The Discord server, we don't have a whole lot of hype in there, not a whole lot of hype. There are not many people that are talking about buying altcoins. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin, which is why altcoins are probably going to start moving, but sellers have to stop selling, and I'm going to leave you with that. All right, guys, if this video did help in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need access to the Discord, just throw a comment in the YouTube chat. I'll get an invite code out to you. And as always, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day.